Hey ladies, so making a quick video to go over some of the little wrinkles that we put in tonight off of Five Out, which we're going to call Celtics from now on. Just again, so that we have a consistent name for it that we all share. I have our man offensive package off to the side here. I'm not going to go over Loop again because there's a whole video on Loop, and I will relink it to this for you. That way we can focus our time here. I decided to rename the rest of these versions of Celtics because Loop is its own continuous offense. Everything else that we run here, split and high, which you already know, and down and up, are really just a wrinkle that will develop into Five Out at some point because they're not continuous. So I just renamed those all Celtics so we kind of have an understanding of that. That being said, if Loop broke down, we would also obviously go into Celtics, but it's the kind of offense that if we continue to run it, we'll continue to run. So really quickly, we already know how to run split. We already know that if split is called, someone will come to the high post. We'll make sure we have two guards. We'll make sure we have two people here on the wing. We will enter the ball into the post if we can. We will not force it. Remember, Coach talked tonight about how you can swing the ball here and then enter it. Once the ball is entered, the first person to pass the ball will cut over that ball, and the second person will cut. So we know that there's a split, and these two people will replace. After that, we're running Five Out. I'm not going to show that because, again, that is in the other video. The second piece that is also in the other video is our play that we were calling high, which we can call high or Celtics high. It doesn't matter. The only difference here is that if we're running it out of a Celtics set, you probably need to call someone's name. So if this is Kate or Maya or Amber and they're coming down and they want to run Celtics high, they might be like, hey, Celtics high to Sophie or Celtics high to Eleanor. That just means that everyone else stays wide in the Five Out. Whoever they call up is going to come run a pick and roll. Remember what I was saying to Amber and Charlotte tonight? If you run this hard and there's no switch, then, our guard should be able to get to the front of the rim or take that little jumper we've been practicing all week off the dribble. If there is a switch, then we should definitely get the roll guy. If we run this hard every time, this should be a bucket. And if for some reason one of these people sags to come to help, then obviously if the ball gets to the roll guy or if our point guard ends up in here with some coverage, then as long as we relocate, we'll get our nice outside shot. So you can run Celtics high at any time. You can call high and you can call anybody's name and we can run it. Remember, Kate and Maya, that we need you to take control here. You should never, if we're on a fast break, that's fine. Otherwise, pull it out and call a play. There should always be a play called. We'll help you, but you can call things too. So that brings us to kind of the new part of the package. And the new part of the package is simply that anytime you just want to call for a Five Out, call Celtics. We can run that at any time. We should probably mix these up as much as possible. So sprinkling it in when you want to is totally appropriate. A wrinkle that we put in tonight is Celtics down. Celtics down sort of probably should have a star next to it because it's one that it's difficult to kind of call that as you're heading over half court. Although Kate and Maya, you have enough of a handle that you probably could do it. But we'll try to call that out from the bench ahead of time. Like, hey, next time let's run Celtics down. So the key with Celtics down is that our two bigs, whoever our bigger people are in the game at the time, are going to start out on the wing, and our two guards are going to start out on the block. So this doesn't start out in a 5-out set. We have to kind of reorganize. Our bigs are up here, and our guards are on the block. And the reason we're starting that way is when we're ready to go, both of these people are going to screen down. And this needs to be a really good screen. Our goal right now is to force a switch. So forwards, make sure your feet are set, and guards, make sure you're patient and you bring your guy inside to really set the pickup because we're hoping to create this switch. We're hoping they'll switch. If they do switch, this is exactly what we're looking for. We want a mismatch here and we want to post these guys up. So if the ball gets entered here, remember, you can't just dump it in there probably. You need to make a basketball move to get open and a nice little curl pass, or it could be a lob depending on where the forward is asking for the ball. So please dump it in. That's the goal of the play. Now, obviously, as soon as you dump, make sure you relocate because we might hit you on a relocation. That's probably as far as the play goes because if we get the mismatch we want, we're going to score. However, another important component of this is with the ball back to 3. As soon as our point guard passes the ball, don't stand. Oops, I just moved the whole court. Sorry. Don't stand. Please make sure you go pick away. So this is going to be just a screen for 2. And, use this screen. You can either come over it with a nice curl if you're open, or you can obviously come to the top of the key. But don't just run to the top of the key. You should be looking to get open first. And then this post guy, if you're open, live the post. But if they fight over this right away, please screen away. So that's the second part of Celtics down. There's really a down screen, and then there's a screen across. Okay. After that, this is just a wrinkle. So after that happens, we're just in 5 out. So if you can't enter it there, maybe we swing it to 2 who comes off that pick, and 4 comes wide, and 5 comes wide, and we're back into our 5 out. Okay, so we'll call Celtics down if we see a mismatch that we want to exploit. We'll definitely keep talking to point guards about, maybe certain sides we want to lean to on that. You can call it anytime if you see something. So that's Celtics down. Okay, so another wrinkle that we're going to put in off of the 5 out Celtics is Celtics up. And so what's going to happen is this. Actually, I'll put the point guard back here, even though these numbers don't really matter a whole ton. What's going to happen is, and spacing is important on this, our 2 bigs, whoever our biggest people are in the game, you are going to start at the elbow. And our guards are going to start like wide. Make sure you're outside of the 3-point line. Make sure that you are working down and hard to get open, because this play won't work if we can't get you open, okay? Because it needs to enter into one of you 2. It can enter here. If it enters here, heck, split it if you want. But the idea behind Celtics up is this. There are 3 looks that we're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to run it to this side. So as the ball is passed, the first and most, I think, one of the most effective looks, if the point guard does this right, is we're going to do a little rub off with this high post. So I want you to really take your guy this way, hoping to kind of get them, moving into the paint, and then literally run them right into 5. We want to rub off here, and hopefully that'll be just a nice layup for Maya or Kate the first time we run it. Maya scored a lot of points off the rub off in the past when we run this with the group that I used to coach, so we know we'll get that piece. Once you clear through here, 1, you have a choice. We're going to hit you if you're open. If not, you need to get out of there really quickly. You can just settle in this corner if you want, which actually is probably ideal because you're definitely not going to be in the way. The other thing you can do is just clear out completely, totally your call, but you literally, if you're not open, you need to get out of there because we need to make room for the next phase of this. And I'm actually going to put you in this corner because I think next time we practice, we might talk about that being potentially more ideal than what I had you doing tonight. They both are fine. So option 1, rub off. Option 2, we've now cleared this side for a little pick and roll. So what's going to happen is the 5 is going to set this side screen for 2. So 2 is coming over the top of this thing. And again, if this is a good screen, you might go right to the rim. You might have a nice little jumper right here. But if not, obviously the 5 on the pick is going to roll. So it's a little pick and roll kind of a situation, just a side pick and roll. So again, if they do switch, then 5 should get this person on their hip and should be able to roll. And we should have a little, layup right here on this block. Now, while that's happening, so again, step 1, rub off. Step 2, pick and roll. On the back side, after the pass happens, the 3 is kind of sneaking up a bit. And the 4 is starting to sneak up a bit too, because what we want to set up on this backside is this. As the pick and roll is happening, we have this guard coming to the free throw line. We have the 5 rolling here, and we're just going to set a little back screen on the backside and see if we can't sneak the 3 to this block here, so that when 2 comes over that pick, they'll see the 5, and then just a second later, they'll see the 3 coming on the back door cut. You can't go over this. That's the only thing. It's the only rule. If you try to cut over this, you're going to kind of be in a mess. You'll kind of be in 2's way. You might run into 5. We don't want that happening. So you need to be thinking, if I'm the backside guard, where I really want to end up as that backside block, and I want to use this pick accordingly. Okay. At that point, the play is over because, again, this is not continuous. It's literally just a little look that we want to get. We want to get the rub off. We want to get the pick and roll, and we want to see if we can get that back door. After that, if nothing materializes, we set up in 5 out because it's Celtics up, right? It ends up being Celtics. So we have some other loops or wrinkles that we can try this week to keep our offense going. If you were not at practice tonight, please watch these videos. Please ask questions before the game. Celtics down is relatively simple. We should be able to draw it up and run it anyway. Celtics up is a little more involved. But depending on the situation, we can put you in a spot that you're comfortable in. I think it's definitely something that we can try at different points this weekend. So like I said, watch this. Let us know if you have any questions. Looking forward to seeing you ladies out there and, starting to really get to know how each other plays. And also these plays or these little wrinkles will give you ways to expect things from each other and know where each other is going to be as we continue to get used to one another. So thanks for watching, and looking forward to hearing how you make out on Saturday.